And welcome back to the hot stage. We are talking Gregoire Monster's future at M Sport. Yes, he's been fairly lackluster over the last 2 years, but he's a really nice guy. They say nice guys finish last. Yes, he does come with some funding. He is a pay driver. Will he be at M Sport next year? I'm not sure. So, Gregoire Monster, that is pretty much the big question for today's show, or today's video, if you will. However, as you know, I'd like to do this. On this day in rallying, all the way back on the November the 12th, 2000, the dust finally settled on the wild gravel roads of Australia after 4 days of flat-out action across the forests of Perth. It was a certain legend of rallying, Marcus Grolom. He emerged victorious in his Peugeot 206 WRC. Fast, fearless, and in total control, the Finn danced the little Peugeot through the narrow stages with precision and power. That win sealed Grolom's dominance in the 2000 season. The year he claimed his first World Rally Championship title. It was a symbolic moment, a changing of the guard, if you will, as the Peugeot team and their Flying Finn stamped their authority on what was a new era of rallying. So, November the 12th, 2000, the day Marcus Grolom conquered the red dust of Australia. So, moving on from one legend to a person that could maybe sometime be a legend, but not quite yet. He's got a bit of work to do, if I'm honest. But this was him. This was, all the way back at the beginning of the year, Gregoire Monster, his first WRC stage when he started the year strong. Okay, he crashed out later, but let's forget about that. But he started the year strong. And this was, as I mentioned, all the way back at the WRC Monaco, Monte Carlo, on the 25th, 2025. And it's not been too great since, has it? I mean, this is the story from rallyjournal.com about M Sport's Gregoire Monster faces an uncertain future in the World Rally Championship. He's saying Monster, as we know, he's competing in what is his second full season at the top level within the Ford Puma rally car with M Sport. Sadly, though, he's yet to make any real breakthrough, and he's struggled, I think, this year just as much as last year. He showed a flash of pace at the start of the season by claiming his first ever rally stage victory. Woohoo! But, since then, I mean, even Rally Journal has even said they've remained modest in terms of his results. But, to be fair, at last weekend's Rally Japan, Monster equalled his best result by finishing 5th. And it wasn't for anyone, I think, of his experience. Yes, just 2 years. But it was brilliant, because it was a rally of survival in torrential conditions. And where you'd expect him to, do like Josh McLaren did, slide off into the landscape, into the scenery, he didn't. And absolutely fair play to him. He said himself, this was a difficult rally, but we stayed on the road and took a top 5 result. It's a good achievement and makes the team happy in what's been a tough season. He said there have been more lows than highs compared to last year. And that's what he was telling the Belgian broadcaster. He said, now we finished 5th. That helps because in the end, we can't really compare ourselves with the others. I mean, the issue being is the M Sport car is not really as competitive. They're not a works team. I say semi-works team, 25, 30%, a third of a works team maybe. They are backed by Ford, sort of. I wish Ford would give them money. But the big question is, because they've got Josh McLaren and because they've got Gregoire Monster, two, let's say, very much rookies still, it's very difficult to see whether last year's car, piloted by the wonderful Adrian Formeau getting podiums, is worse compared to the competition than this year's car. I'm sure M Sport would come out and say, yes, it is, because of their lackluster result. But unless you put a known quantity in there, it's very, very difficult. For example, could not Tanak have got a podium this year in this year's car? I reckon he probably could have done. Or any other driver. I just say Ottana because, yes, he is a former M Sport driver. So is Elvin Evans. Anyway, Monster said, but I don't know if this will help me stay for the team in 2026, he added. M Sport is known for making its driver decisions rather late in the year. And this season, the British outfit has relied entirely on so-called paid drivers such as Monster and Josh McLaren. And yeah, not particularly great. The great, wonderful M Sport team relying on paid drivers. It's so sad, isn't it? Rallying is in a sad state of affairs. Monster is in current talks regarding his future, though, and even hinted at a more unexpected option for next year. But I think it's a good option. And it's very clever. He said, it's a matter of budget. I've been talking a bit with everyone with the regulation changes coming, even moving back to Rally 2. He said that wouldn't be a bad thing since we're headed towards Rally 2 in 2027. And I think that's an amazing thing because I predict if this goes right and they sort the you don't have to have space frames, etc. to be competitive, you're going to get other teams, maybe other manufacturers, privateer teams, and that may be where Gregoire Monster's experience comes in. So the 2026 season, as we know, is going to be the final one for Rally 1 before these new technical regulations arrive in 27, when the top category will be based on Rally 2 machinery. And just to prove my disappointment, Gregoire Monster, when we look at it, he is all the way in 10th position. I mean, you look at the people ahead of him, Piari, Steven Solberg is ahead of him. I mean, it's been embarrassing, both Monster and McLaren. He's at least Monster is ahead of Josh, although you could argue that Josh overall has been more impressive in his rookie year and shown maybe more pace, maybe more mistakes. But he's been, I think, for his rookie year, he's been more impressive than Monster has in his rookie year. Anyway, as you know, Monte Carlo, who retired, Sweden, he got 4 points, 10 plus 2 in Kenya, none in Spain, 2 in Portugal, 0 in Italy, retired in Greece, you got 1 there, 2 in Finland, 0, 4 in Central Europe, 4, I think that was Chile, 0 in Central Europe, and obviously 10 in Japan, equaling his best ever result. And obviously we're going into Saudi Arabia. Hey, if you win Saudi Arabia, maybe. But if not Monster, who then could potentially drive for the M Sport team if it's not going to be Monster? Well, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Martin Sett.
Hi, welcome to M Sport.
And I know this year he's been a lot more lackluster. If you remember last year, he nearly got a podium in his home rally in his second or third stage. He finished second, I think, in Finland without the turbo, which was absolutely amazing, and gave that awesome interview. But he was a bit more lackluster this year, but he did really good in Sweden. I know for my friend Chris, he said he's only really good in gravel stages, so we've not really seen him on tarmac. He's going to Saudi Arabia. That's going to be really interesting.
I
But
think
so
it was
this.
with Bex, and Bex was like, what do you know about this guy?
M-Sport.
I said, I know this guy. If everything goes right, could be a world champion in the future. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. I said, because he has everything that you need.
So, Rally TV are doing a Martin Sett documentary out tomorrow, the 13th of November. Why would they be doing that if they're not going to sign him full-time next year? This is the thing. Is surely then, if Rally TV and M Sport are going to invest in a documentary, surely they're potentially going to sign him full-time for next year. We know he obviously does come with some backing, otherwise, because he would have potentially done more races. But as we know, he's going to Saudi. Is he going to Saudi to announce that he's going to be a full-time M Sport driver next year? I really hope so. Unless Hyundai want him, after obviously Tanak has gone. It wouldn't be a bad thing. But we all know what happens with Hyundais and rookies. Hello, Ollie Solberg from 2022 is calling. Anyway, I digress. What's going to happen to Gregoire Monster? He's a nice guy. I want to see him in the sport, but I want to see him improve. So maybe going back to Rally 2 would be the best thing. Anyway, if you made it to the end, please consider giving us a subscribe. That would be absolutely lovely. A subscription, so to speak. If you already subscribed, thank you very much. I think we've got 14 at the time of recording this. It would be great to have more. We're a very new channel. We've a couple of months old, but we are Rally. We pretty much try and do a Rally video every day. But yeah, we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much for watching again. But above all else, stay safe.